Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, tankers of all ages, Sir Harry here again with another episode of Fast Tracks, a series where I have a quick battle in a tank I really like and have an okay result in spite of myself. And hey, first and foremost, Merry Christmas, everyone. Hope you're having a great holiday, enjoying some time with family or friends. Maybe some quiet time playing World of Tanks, perhaps. Who knows? Today, we're in the Sav M43. It's the Tier 4 Swedish tank destroyer in the new Swedish TD line. I have to say, I'm actually pretty impressed with this little thing. It's got a lot of characteristics of other TDs. It's kind of a bit like some of the Russian TDs at that tier, or it's almost got some howitzer-like qualities. In fact, this can mount a 105mm derp gun, a howitzer. I love the derp gun on most tanks, but I have to say, I didn't really enjoy it on this one. Mostly the shell velocity is just so slow, it's hard to do much from distance. And so I'm using the 75mm gun. That's the second gun in the line. And you do have to unlock the 105, unfortunately, go to the Tier 5 TD. That's the IKV-65-2. We'll call that the IKEA Wagen, I guess. And so we're in a Tier 6 battle on Karelia. And you can see our Leopard's gone up to the base of the hill there to try to spot. Really important to get eyes towards the hill on this map, of course. Unfortunately, he gets spotted. He takes a hit from something, and then the enemy Bert, the FV-304, takes him out. So we now are blind when it comes to the hill, unless our guys can get up around from the east side of the hill there. Enemy AE-20 does a bit of a Sua Scout run, and he gets taken out really quickly. I misjudged my shell velocity and put around behind him and failed to get the hit in. But because I fired and there was a chance he could see me, I do move a bit just in case the enemy RD is taking an interest in me. And so our team spotted the Hellcat up on the hill there. Hellcat takes a hit before he drops spots, and I figure, you know what, no harm putting a couple of rounds down range. Although you can see they are flying quite high. The accuracy on this gun isn't terrible. It's 0.38 dispersion. But they're at that kind of range. It seems to be letting me down a bit, and all the rounds went pretty high. There's the Hellcat again. He's on very low health. Let's see if we can get a shot into him. Fire, and no. Just as I pull the trigger, RA-20 takes him out. That Hellcat was on 1 hit point. But the good news now is that the hill looks like it's pretty much uncontested, but I am a little worried there. You can see about half our team went to the southeast there. But there's a lot of mediums there, and it looks like most of the enemy heavies went that way. So that could pose a problem later on. And our two Churchills, our Churchill 7 and Churchill 1, both decided to go west. I am kind of glad they did, of course, because we need somebody to hold that flank. And the enemy E8 over on that flank, the American Tier 6 medium, is going to rack up some kills pretty quick here. And then I see that I've spotted something, and sure enough, the enemy Chaffee, figuring because the Leopard was killed, the middle's probably open, is doing a YOLO run for our artillery. So as soon as he was spotted, I head over to try to cut him off. 43 kilometers an hour, the Sav M43 can do, so that's not too bad. Certainly faster than a lot of TDs. Oh, and there we go. I try to manual aim. The shot drops low into the dirt. I auto aim, hit him, and track him. And you see there, he put a high explosive round at me. I guess he had HE loaded, thinking he was going to get the artillery. But in a gun with that small a caliber, HE really isn't going to do a lot of extra damage. You're probably better off playing it safe with AP in a really small caliber gun like that. So that threat's dealt with. You can see now the Matilda 4 is up on the hill, the Russian premium Tier 5 medium tank. That's a great little premium, and he's given our A20 a run for his money. And meanwhile, we're starting to take losses down in the southeast there. Our T1 heavy's hanging on, and we've got the Skoda, Matilda, and a TD down there. Actually, it is an IKEA Wagen 65-2. And there we go. So the Matilda's now killed our A20. We've lost the hill. We really seem to be on our back foot now down in the southeast. So in the west, our two Churchills seem to really have held the day there. We did lose a couple of tanks, a Stug and another medium that went over that way. Or that was a Czech light tank, sorry. And so the Churchills, they look like they're heading south. And this is a situation where you absolutely need everybody back to defend, especially a couple of good heavies like that. And so you can see me frantically pinging the map. I'm pinging on their square and then on the base location and saying, please come back and defend. And you can see there, good on him. The Churchill 7 starts to turn around. The Churchill 1 doesn't look like he's quite got the message yet. It's hard in chat because, of course, not everybody on the North America server speaks English. We have a lot of players, of course, from Central and South America. And from Mexico, which I guess is technically North America, who don't speak English. So you can't just type in chat, defend or come back, please. You have to start pinging the map sometimes. And of course, the magic defend the base key works out. So I'm heading back now. You can see our Matilda's been killed, and now it's just that poor little IKEA Wagen holding the fort by himself, and he's a one-shot. And there's the T1 coming up on him. So I'm going to take up a position here behind this rock to try to get some RD cover because I'm very concerned about artillery. I am pretty squishy. I mean, I've got 50 mils of front armor, but only 15 on the side and rear, and certainly probably less on the top of my tank. So even though the enemy artillery is pretty low tier, The Bert's still out there, though, and he could probably one-shot me. Or certainly mess me up pretty badly. So I'm taking up position here just as our IKEA wagon gets killed. And you can see in the chat there that player is a little salty, thinking, I held the flank, did a lot of damage, and we're going to lose. So I'm here, and then it hits me. Look at the range rings. The white range ring, the 445. The last position of those tanks is well outside that. But I've got binos up here, and you can see the inner green ring there shows just out to about the corner of that rock feature there to the southeast, where we should expect those tanks to come around the corner any second. And sure enough, there's the KV-1, about half health. We put a shot into him. I back off. I do not have Sixth Sense on this crew, of course. I've just unlocked this tank a few days ago. And yeah, so there we go. Take out the T1. Important to get guns out of the game at this point, especially a T1. If you saw my T1 heavy video, you know what a really super heavy tank that is. And even at tier 5, whoa, yeah, there we go. Okay, so the Lee and the Matilda 4 both get hits into me. I am now down on a sliver of my health. And holy cow, Wolverine, aim, bang. Okay, there we go. I held off as long as I possibly could with the aim there because I wanted to make sure I got the hit. And I didn't want the shell flying high or low or where it shouldn't go because, of course, that Wolverine has a very fast rate of fire. And yeah, I was pretty much toast there, but I was lucky to get the kill on him. So now the Bert appears, and I'm not sure what this Bert's doing. I don't think he did a lot of favors. I think maybe he figured he could kind of scout. But no, he's come way too far forward now. He's caught behind that rock. He's got basically no way to get out. I'm pre-aiming, and yeah, okay, sorry. He was lower down than I thought. So now he's backing up. I shoot again, and yeah, slow shell velocity and bad aim on my part. I miss him, but the last shot does hit. There we go. And you'll notice I had APCR loaded for the KV-1 and the T1, and I figure, you know what, at this point in the game, I'm just going to keep it loaded, and I certainly did not need APCR to penetrate the Bert there, but I'm just more focused on trying to be in the right position and trying to get the hits in. So, oh, here comes the KV-1 shot, and no, fluffs into the dirt. That seems to be the trend with this tank destroyer. I find either the shots tend to go really low at close range or really high at long range if you don't fully aim. So just be aware of that. You see the KV-1 there, that looked like a bounce, probably from one of the Churchills. And he's backing off a little bit, but holy cow, and there's the Lee. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so that wonderful, useless fake turret on top of the Lee always appears over a ridge before the Lee itself comes up, and of course he can't shoot with that, so I made him an easy target. There's the Matilda. Okay, pull forward. Okay, we are now pretty much surrounded. Churchill 3 is making a run here. We get a nice big shot into his side. He's going for the rock, and he's aiming, not looking where he's going. Hits the rock and stalls, and we managed to aim carefully and get the shot through his turret. And there's the KV-1, and we put him out of his misery as well there. So, crisis averted. Our Matilda 4 is killed, the enemy Matilda 4 is killed as well. So now we're safe, and I just want to get under cover here. Please don't bump me, Churchill 7. Thank you. Okay, and we go forward because you'll hear artillery starting to rain down now. Their artillery is blind firing. They're down to 2 tanks now. We have 4. Wow, we managed to hold the fort there. A bit of an Alamo moment, and certainly we were able to fend off the enemy push at the end there. I thought we were history, and luckily with some good support fire from the Churchills and the awesome gun performance overall on the Sav M43. Did I mention, by the way, this thing has 14 degrees of gun depression. That's almost the best in the game. And you can see me putting it to use there as I was using that reverse slope, poking up and getting shots into enemy turrets. And certainly most of those tanks did not have the gun depression to be able to get shots back at me in return. So really artillery was the main threat there. So now we decide, okay, we're all going to stick together. We're going to head out and try to finish this game off. I suggested the middle just because it's faster, but the Churchills decide to go around to the southeast, and the Bishop's even going with them. I thought about staying behind to guard the cap, just in case there's some sneaky enemies coming up the west flank, and they're going to try to cap us out, especially knowing that most of our tanks are pretty slow. But you know what, I figured let's go along. I can provide a bit of supporting fire if the Churchills come under contact, or maybe I can even get up on the hill before them and be ready with some ambush shots if they push around all the way around to the south towards the enemy base. So we're heading on. You can see the speed again, not too bad, 43 kilometers an hour forward. Certainly about, medium tank, average medium tank speed. It's not a fast TD by any stretch, but it's adequate. And it's not great up hills, but it's got a bit of push. 12.57 specific horsepower gets you up the hill a little faster, certainly than a lot of heavies or slow TDs. So we're heading up now. I'm suggesting that I go up top and they push around. And you can see just as I get about halfway up the hill here, we're going to see something happen that's going to completely change the whole scope of the battle. Yeah, somebody's capping. So we got two possibilities now. Either the enemy artillery is capping and their Sav M43 is set up an ambush, probably somewhere in the middle, you know, maybe kind of D5, E6, somewhere in there, or the artillery is in wait and the TD is capping, and the artillery is going to be pre-aimed on the most likely approach that they expect us to take. So you can see now I've already passed both the heavies and I'm passing the bishop. So now I have to play the eyes of the team. I have to get up there really quickly, and holy cow, my hands are sweating right now. I was mentally trying to will this TD to go faster. Luckily, I'm on hardpack here on a bit of a dirt road, so that makes me go at a decent speed, I guess. But I'm looking at this hill thinking, holy cow, I've got to push up this hill as quickly as possible. And of course, you want to minimize turns as much as you can, because every time you turn, it does bleed off a bit of speed. So there we go. We angle a bit there. And now we're heading up, and I'm going to zoom into sniper mode here as soon as I can. Oh, I turned too much there. I slowed down a bit. And we're going to be looking for any hint of the top of an enemy turret or you know, any piece of a tank I can possibly shoot at. And I'm going to hope that the bishop is going to be pre-aimed on our cap circle to be able to at least splash the enemy target. All you have to do is, you know, damage a track even. You don't have to actually do hit points of damage to reset the cap. There's still only one on cap, so again, I'm worried that, oh, there we go. Our bishop fired preemptively just as I was typing, "Bishop, are you ready?" And luckily the bishop has a pretty fast reload. And there we go. It is actually the enemy Sav. There he is. I do auto aim because I want to be able to focus on backing up ASAP. As soon as that reticle turned green, I hit pull the trigger, and then immediately backed up as soon as I saw I hit. And you can see here I've got green on my trigger, my reticle in some cases, and the shots are dumping low into the ground. But finally we get another penetrating shot, and the bishop finishes him off. So another crisis averted around our cap. It's just the enemy artillery left, and he could be pretty much anywhere other than maybe that southeast corner, because we were just there. But yeah, we have to go and find him now, or we can go and cap out, I guess. We still have lots of time. Well, 3:21, that's not a pile of time. If we can get to the cap circle, 3 of us anyway, we can cap out pretty quickly. So you can see again here, picking up speed, getting up to about max speed here going down the hill, but it usually doesn't travel at max speed on flat ground. You need a bit of a hill assist to get up to the top speed. So our Churchill 1's heading right up the middle. You can see how terrible the view range is on this thing without the binoculars set up. In fact, it's, what is the view range on this? It's awful. It's only 287. That is absolutely atrocious for a tank destroyer. You're really at the mercy of your teammates spotting for you. And in case, as is the case here, the Churchill 1 is going to spot our enemy artillery, the last surviving enemy player. There he is. Stop. Do I have silhouette? Oh, I've got silhouette. I don't think he has Sixth Sense. And we get one shot out, and here's where the quick reload comes in. Hurry, 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 and bang. There we go. 6 kill Top Gun. So that's it. We managed to fend off 2 enemy pushes on our base. Ace Tanker, Top Gun, and Defender. 1,191 base XP, 1,327 damage, and a big Merry Christmas shout out to ELC Rente and Aldiaz 2016. What a great job you guys did backing me up as we defended our cap against that big enemy push. And certainly without your efforts, this battle would not have been a victory. Well done, guys. And again, Merry Christmas. So, yeah, pretty happy with that. Fired 28 shots, only half of them hit. A lot of those were pretty spurious blind shots or just bad aim on my part. 14 hits, but all 14 penned, of course, because I was spamming APCR like a boss. So that is the Sav M43. Again, I think a great little Tier 4 TD. I'm really looking forward to the IKEA Wagen 65 too, which I've unlocked, but I'm going to wait to use some free XP to upgrade some of the modules before I start playing it. Really looking forward to getting up, of course, to the high tiers with the siege mode and all the sort of S-Tank variants. Should be a lot of fun. The Swedish tanks look like they're pretty good so far. So let me know what you think. Leave a comment if there's a tank you'd like to see in a video. Let me know. Please consider clicking like and clicking subscribe. This is Sir Harry. A big Merry Christmas. Thanks for watching. Cheers.